Bigger than a normal size man. Dude, that's creepy.
Some Bigfoot encounters are frightening because the camera catches something before the person fully understands it. From a dark figure standing near a campsite as if it was watching to a human-like scream echoing near an abandoned mine, these clips leave one question: what is really hiding in the woods? In 2021, a man was recording himself when something strange passed through the trees behind him. The figure seemed to be covered in thick brown hair with a large head and quick movement. Some skeptics say it was a person wearing a costume, but the trees make it difficult to know for sure. Fast movement, branches, shadows, and blur can make a figure in the woods appear much stranger on camera than it really is. Still, the question remains, was this only a person in a suit, or did the camera capture something harder to explain? Two hikers were climbing the famous Mount St. Helens when they encountered something unsettling. As they pushed a few boulders down the slope, one of them suddenly noticed movement far below.
Hey, there's something down there. You see that in the clearing?
Oh yeah.
In the distance, they saw a tall figure walking through the wilderness. It seemed much larger than a normal person moving across the open area beneath them. The location made the sighting even harder to dismiss. Mount St. Helens has been connected to Bigfoot stories for years, with others claiming to have seen similar figures there. Still, distance can make size difficult to judge on open mountain slopes. The figure's height and movement were what stood out most. Was it another strange mountain encounter, or was there a simpler explanation? A group of friends went camping deep in the forest, hoping to capture wildlife near their campsite. For that reason, they placed a trail camera and left it watching the area around them. But when they later reviewed the footage, they saw something they had not expected. Hidden between the trees was a large, unidentified figure. It seemed to be covered in dark hair with a big rounded head that reminded many viewers of the legendary Bigfoot. Some estimated the figure was around 8 feet tall, but the most unsettling detail was how still it remained, almost as if it was watching the campsite. Trail cameras can make shapes difficult to judge in dense woods, especially with shadows and low detail. Still, its position near the campers made the footage disturbing. Timber giant Bigfoot has spent almost 30 years looking for Bigfoot. During that time, he has captured thousands of minutes of footage while making trips into the woods. On September 15th, 2013, while exploring a forest in southern Ontario, he heard a repeated knocking noise, almost like stones being hit together. He followed the sound and eventually noticed something unusual about 100 feet away.
Where's it? Oh, come on, it's right there. I don't have my glasses on. Look at that. Holy. That's what's making the noise. Holy shit. Oh crap, I lost it. Where'd it go? Holy. I'm pretty sure that was the thing that was making the noise. I'm not seeing it now. I think that's it. Oh, cameras everywhere. Oh, look at that. What the hell am I looking at? I'm looking down there. I don't see it at all with my eye, but I can kind of see it on the screen. It's gone now. There it is. Holy. Oh, look. Oh my God. I'm guessing it's probably like 150 feet away. I'm behind it, I guess. I'll see what happens. I don't know if I should do this or not. It's not even where's it? Oh, look at this. Holy freak.
A reddish-colored creature sitting in the forest. When the creature heard the knock, it slowly shifted to the left and disappeared from sight. After that, Timber Giant went to inspect the spot where it had been sitting and briefly saw it again behind a tree. In thick woods, sharp sounds like stone knocks can echo between trees, making the direction harder to identify. Maybe the figure was simply hidden by the trees, or maybe it moved away because it realized he was getting closer. But if that creature really made the knocking sound, what was it doing there? This footage was recorded by a security camera in South Bloomingville, Ohio. Moments after a dog started barking, something seemed to move near the electric pole on the left side of the screen. About 10 seconds earlier, faint movement could also be seen in the bushes beside the porch post. Security cameras often blur small movements at night, especially around bushes, poles, and dark corners. But the timing is what makes the clip feel unsettling. The dog reacts first, then the movement appears. Was something really moving near the property, or was it just a person passing by? A man was hiking through the beautiful national parks of Alberta, surrounded by mountains covered in snow. While standing behind a tree, he noticed something strange through his camera lens. As he adjusted the focus and zoomed in, a large figure appeared in view. The creature seemed to be covered in dark fur with snow stuck to parts of its body. Unfortunately, it barely moved, so there was no clear view of its face. Snow and distance can hide small details, making animals or figures more difficult to identify on camera. Was it a large animal standing still in the snow, or something much stranger watching from the mountains? A video uploaded on August 5th, 2024 gained attention because of how realistic it looked. But with no clear details about where it came from, the footage remains hard to explain. In the clip, the creature appears to notice the man nearby before quietly moving away. Many viewers believe it may have been around 7 feet tall. When a video has no clear source details like height, distance, and scale become much harder to confirm. Was it a real encounter, a clever setup, or something else entirely? A hiker was recording the beautiful scenery around him, and at first nothing looked unusual. Then a large black figure covered in thick fur appeared in the frame. It moved in a way that seemed almost human, but its body was fully covered, and in one frame its face appeared to be visible. That face did not look like a normal person, but the way the figure turns and looks back seems very human-like. Movements like that can make strange footage feel less convincing. So, was this really something unusual, or just someone wearing a suit? While canoeing through Lettuce Lake Park in Florida, a man thought he had seen a wild bear and started recording. At first, the figure appeared large and dark, with fur covering its body. But as he continued watching, he realized it did not look like a normal bear. The creature moved toward deeper water, then vanished from sight completely. In swampy areas, dark water and dense vegetation can make animals difficult to identify. Some believe it was a rare animal, while others find its sudden disappearance harder to explain. What was really moving into the water? A man was playing in the woods with his child when his camera accidentally recorded something strange.
You like your little car, buddy? Wow. Let's get inside, buddy.
As he focused on his kid and the small toy car, a tall, dark figure appeared in the background. Its height and movement reminded some viewers of descriptions often connected to Sasquatch, a mysterious creature that many locals have claimed to see in the area for years. After realizing what had been behind them, the man and his child went back inside. Since then, they have not felt safe. Was it simply someone standing in the woods, or something much harder to explain? Sometimes a single movement in the woods is enough to draw someone closer. For this hiker, that moment turned into something much harder to explain. A man was hiking through the forest when he noticed movement that caught his eye. He stepped closer, thinking he might be following a bull elk, but not long after he realized that whatever he had seen appeared to be something completely different. At first he thought it could be a moose. Then his focus shifted to an animal rib cage hanging nearby with all the flesh removed. Before long, it seemed clear to him that the figure did not look like a moose, and it did not look like a bear either. So, what did this man actually record? Was it Bigfoot an illusion, or just an oddly shaped tree trunk? Let us know what you think as we move into more encounters. On September 8th, 2024, in a video posted on TikTok, a man was hiking deep within a remote mountain range. The path was quiet, the air felt cold, and the climb was steep. Then he noticed something high along the mountainside, a dark cave with something enormous inside. He moved in closer and the sight made him stop immediately. A giant stone head seemed to be protruding from the cave wall. Its outline looked like a face, but not a human face. The broad features, hollow eyes, heavy brow, and long thick mouth
Could this be the face of Bigfoot?
gave it a disturbing resemblance to Bigfoot. The stone face looked so detailed and realistic that it almost felt like it was staring right at him. The place was so high and difficult to access that he could not understand how anyone could have carved it there. Then another idea entered his mind. What if it had never been carved at all? He remembered an old theory he had once seen suggesting that giant creatures, or even living beings, could turn to stone after centuries of minerals and weather covering them over time. Looking at the size of the head, he started to believe the idea. The face inside the cave looked strangely similar to Bigfoot. He slowly backed away, but the stone eyes still seemed to follow him. That was when he felt that some parts of the mountain were never supposed to be found. Maybe it was only an unusual formation shaped by time, or maybe the cave contained something much harder to explain. If you saw that face in the mountain, would you think nature created it or something else? On May 24th, 2025, a group of hikers near High River, Colorado, found something strange and completely unexpected. They captured the whole moment on camera, turning the hike into something they would never forget.
It was moving. I saw it move.
Yeah, I saw it move too.
It's a berry thing? Maybe no. It's
Where is it? Do you see it?
Yeah, I do. That brown against the tree right there.
Dude, it's like hidden in the tree.
It's like dead. See the slant right there? Yeah,
Dude, I can't find it in the phone. Say he's straight up there.
Here, bear. Here, bear. It almost looks like
There's some rock coming
it's
down.
like waving around. Bigger than a normal size man. Dude.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's not moving like a bear.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, that's weird.
Definitely. Guys, come look in the phone. You can see it.
Is he plotting against us? We come in peace.
We come in.
I can't zoom in any more than this.
As the hikers made their way through the wilderness, they noticed a huge and mysterious creature far in the distance. It looked tall and covered with hair. Some rumors claimed that a portal near the Colorado River may be pulling strange beings into the area, and sightings there are not uncommon. Although the hikers seemed a little scared, they also appeared grateful to have seen the moment with their own eyes. From a distance, trees, shadows, and uneven terrain can make a large shape difficult to read. When something looks hairy and stands partly hidden in the wild, the mind quickly tries to decide what it is. Whatever the creature was, it remains a strange mystery. What do you think the hikers saw that day? Some encounters feel frightening because they happen in places that should feel completely safe. What these tourists captured made many viewers uncomfortable. On February 27, 2012, in a quiet part of Rio Claro, Brazil, A group of tourists stopped beside a beautiful waterfall. The sound of rushing water filled the area, and everything seemed calm until something unusual occurred.
Domingo, curtindo uma cachoeira em Rio de Janeiro.
While recording the scene, one of the tourists noticed a dark human-like figure slowly lifting out of the water. It was not swimming. It was not climbing. It was simply rising up with a shape that looked too still and too unnatural.
Agora o melhor de tudo é essa queda d'água. Muita força. Uhul! Ih, caraca! Tem uma coisa ali. Mozinho, você viu o cara no meio da água? Ali, mozinho!
Then, without warning, it slipped back into the waterfall and vanished completely. The water moved as if something had passed through it, but there were no clear splashes.
Tem alguma coisa lá no meio da água.
And no signs of motion afterward. The group looked around the area but found nothing. There were no footprints on the wet rocks, and no one else seemed to be in the water. The place suddenly felt colder, and the cheerful sound of the waterfall seemed to carry a strange, heavy silence. After the footage was uploaded, many people believed it showed a ghost, possibly the spirit of someone who had drowned there long ago. Others said they could not make themselves watch the video a second time.
Você viu o cara no meio da água? Caraca! Ali, mozinho!
Maybe it was only an odd reflection, or maybe something was truly there before it disappeared into the water. If you'd seen that figure rise from the waterfall, would you call it a trick of the eyes, or something harder to explain? A man and his child were enjoying a fun day riding an ATV and filming the scenery when they encountered something unusual. The sighting later became known as the Beast of Gum Hill. They saw a massive figure reportedly around 7 feet tall, moving through the trees. Because the encounter was fairly clear, viewers could make out its tall body and steady movement. And since it happened during the day, the footage became harder for many people to dismiss. Daylight can show details that darkness often hides, like body shape, height, and movement. Maybe it was Bigfoot, or maybe it was someone in a costume. But if you saw a 7-foot figure walking through the trees in broad daylight, what would you think it was? He entered a national forest hoping to search for abandoned mines. But the farther he walked, the more the woods began to feel wrong. Meet Jed, the creator behind the YouTube channel Safety Third, where he shares his passion for travel and adventure. On December 31st, 2024, he went on an overnight hike in the Daniel Boone National Forest, hoping to locate abandoned mines.
Something's knocking wood up there. I don't know. That's weird. What is that, man? It seems like maybe it's a squirrel cracking a nut or something.
But without realizing it, his hike was about to become frightening. Sudden, strange noises started echoing from nowhere, leaving him uneasy. He tried to brush them off as ordinary sounds of nature, but he was still determined to continue the hike. However, once he reached the mine, everything changed. A strange,
I don't think these are like very old at all. That's a pretty high coal seam too. And it's dry. What the freak? That was weird.
almost human-like scream cut through the silence, echoing through the trees and sending a chill through him. He tried to ignore it and keep exploring, but no matter what he told himself, the uneasy feeling remained. It felt as if something was watching him. In the end, Jed chose safety over adventure. He decided not to spend the night and carefully headed back to his car, leaving the wilderness behind. Maybe it was only an animal call distorted by the forest, or maybe something was nearby that he never saw. If you heard that scream near an abandoned mine, would you keep going or turn back? Todd Standing, a controversial Bigfoot researcher, presents what he claims is undeniable photographic evidence of Sasquatch captured deep in the Canadian wilderness. This short shows a powerful, heavily enhanced close-up of a Sasquatch face. A photo Standing says may look like an artist's drawing, but is not revealing striking details of the eyes, nose, and distinct fur. Standing insists that this level of detail proves the creature is real, but critics argue that his methods and images are too heavily edited. Is this the true face of the elusive cryptid, or just an advanced hoax? You decide. Does this image convince you that Bigfoot is real? Squatch Mafia takes viewers deep into the remote woods of Litchfield County, Connecticut, a place not often linked to the legendary creature, to examine newly resurfaced footage.
Where is it?
He's coming on. He's there. He's gonna pop up in there. There he is, popping up. Look at berries. Lots of berries.
Let's see him.
He's over here now.
Oh shit, he went too fast. I didn't catch him this sun. I didn't catch him that fast.
This clip shows an enhanced version of a mysterious video, allegedly recorded by a local resident, featuring a large, dark, two-legged figure moving quickly and purposefully through the tree line. Is this clear proof of Bigfoot in Connecticut, or simply a large bear, or a person wrongly identified by the camera? A resurfaced video dated January 7th, 2003 shows what seems to be a large snow-covered figure moving near a remote mountain town. Shared again on October 13th, 2025 under the title Massive Yeti. Caught on camera, the clip was filmed by a man working on his property who noticed the figure blending into the snowy landscape before recording it with his old camcorder. Skeptics say it may simply be someone wearing a costume, while others point to the visible muscle shape and the way the fur appears to follow the body, details they believe would have been difficult to fake with early 2000s camera technology. The debate has also brought renewed attention to long-standing Yeti legends from Himalayan cultures, where stories describe a powerful guardian-like figure living in high-altitude regions. Whether this footage shows something unknown, a misidentified figure, or a carefully made hoax, remains open to interpretation. What do you think, an authentic early encounter or a convincing illusion? A recently circulated photo shows a tall, dark figure standing still on a remote forest road, blurry but clear enough to start debate online. Its posture, height, and strange bend in the knees have made some viewers wonder whether the figure was a person, an animal, or something harder to explain. Around the same time, a striking encounter was reported near Plum Creek in Monroe County, Michigan. A father and his 12-year-old son were bow fishing when they heard a heavy thud in the trees and briefly saw a large, upright, dark figure moving smoothly through the brush. Both witnesses later sent their account to the BFRO, which found their descriptions consistent and the setting similar to earlier reports from remote, wildlife-heavy areas. Whether these incidents suggest something unexplained or simply come from mistaken readings of natural events remains uncertain. What do you think? Coincidence, misidentification, or something truly unusual? A newly surfaced video from Big Hill Pond State Park in Pocahontas, Tennessee, shows a park employee casually filming himself while talking about recent sightings, only for something unexpected to appear behind him.
What this is about. The threat is real in McNairy County. There have so far been 6 reportings. People are getting very close, reporting the smell of burnt tires and dog breath. Brother, that's Bigfoot, and he's coming. So far, we've looked around.
As he speaks to the camera, a brown, upright figure can be seen moving quickly through the tree line in the background, immediately sparking debate online. Some viewers think the timing seems too perfect, suggesting the clip may have been staged, while others point to Tennessee's long history of reported encounters going back to early pioneer stories of strange calls, wood knocks, and wild hair-covered figures in the Appalachian forests. The witness insists the moment was completely accidental and that whatever passed behind him was real. Whether this sighting was coincidence, a clever setup, or something unexplained remains uncertain. What do you think moved through the trees that day? A misidentified animal, a hoax, or something far more mysterious? A group of outdoor explorers in Oklahoma shared trail camera footage they recorded while checking their equipment deep in the woods. Earlier that night, they said they had noticed strange signs in the area, and even believed they briefly saw a towering figure moving between the trees. When they later reviewed the camera, it showed a close-up clip of a large upright shape stepping into frame after another animal activated the sensor. The figure appears muscular, moves with a slow and deliberate stride, and remains partly hidden behind the trees. Some viewers believe the footage shows a Bigfoot-like creature, while others think there may be a more ordinary explanation. What do you see in this video? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.